Just it was crazy.
The computers went down for rain.
Yes. Well,
they canceled
flooding.
all the flights. Oh, flooding. Okay.
Yeah, the computers literally got water damage, I think.
Did you see what happened at the Atlanta airport? It was the Atlanta airport where the gun went off, right?
Yeah. Did that guy get away? So the guy had a gun in like security. And then instead of being like, oh, I can't believe I left it there, he grabs the gun, accidentally fires it, runs for it, and gets away.
Yeah.
Get away.
He got away.
Did they ever ID?
He had a gun. What were they going to do?
Yeah. As far as I can tell, he just accidentally fired the gun to be like, oh, shit, it's in there. He gets it and he runs. They don't know who he was. I guess his bag didn't have any identifying stuff in it.
But you have to get through the scanner guy.
He wasn't through it yet. Oh, I guess I don't know. I'm not sure. But he got the gun and he ran away and he exited the airport grounds. And last I heard, they were trying to ID him. Now there's cameras everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
How could they not ID him? But does anyone have an update to that?
Yeah, I never heard that story. That is wild. He just brandished a gun and then ran away after firing it.
It's wild. The whole thing is wild.
So the TSA wasn't there to tackle him to the ground?
No, not even a little bit.
I don't blame them. They probably don't make enough to tackle someone to the ground with a loaded gun. No one does.
No one does.
Police found the gun. I guess he ditched it.
Probably all
at the airport. Shucks, there's a paywall on this.
He was a felon. Okay.
Oh no.
So he was in real.
Not one of my people.
I feel like with an airport, they could find someone pretty easily.
Is the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport like the big one, the one you would go to?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Okay. It was an accidental discharge. Shit, I want more. Oh, they identified him. Kenny Wells, 42 years old.
My man Kenny.
So
wait,
I guess
isn't that Wings' brother? All them pills that Kenny been banging?
Oh, Jesus.
That's what they always say. Oh, that's funny.
Well, if they haven't caught him by now, they're not going to catch him.
I think they got his name. They're going to get him.
They got his name.
Oh, they got his name. Okay.
If they don't have him already, he's toast. Well, shit, I'm not getting any more details than I already gave.
He's in a lot of trouble. Like I think possession of a firearm by a felon is like...
And like firing it in an airport?
It's like 5 years, maybe 10 years. It's like 5 though, I think for sure. It's not good. But then like the whole like having it in the airport and having it go off. I mean, if he wasn't
allowed to have it.
You're allowed to have it. It's the felon thing. That's what I was about to say. It's like I think he'd be all A-okay. I think like if Taylor did this, he's probably 100% okay. Like maybe you pay a fine for like reckless. I don't know.
In 2014, Georgia passed a law that allowed concealed weapons at airports and areas outside screening checkpoint. So prior to passing through security, you're allowed to carry your concealed carry in Georgia.
Correct. Yeah.
But the felon
I
thing,
wouldn't do it.
It's going to be a problem.
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, eventually you're going to pass security.
Like you're gonna throw your gun away.
They're really expensive guns. Like, yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, and there's like I've said this before. This was years and years ago. I went through for a work trip, and I had like a backpack, I had my laptop and a few things in, just a day trip. And I got through, and I forgot I'd taken that backpack hunting like months and months prior. And so I had 2 magazines for a handgun with not a gun in there, just the magazines. And like when they went through, they pulled me aside and they're like, "Hey, you can't have this stuff." And like in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I'm in like the most trouble. I broke the rules around the airport with sure, there's no gun here. It's just 2 mags full of 9mm ammo." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, what do I do?" And she's like, "You're going to want to get back in line and just throw both of these into the garbage." And I'm like,
"Do you know how much ammunition costs, ma'am?"
Yeah.
No, thank you. I'll drive.
These are hollow points.
I asked. I was like, "So is there a guy or can I leave these here and get them when I come back? I don't want to lose these." And she's like, "No, you just have to go back." And then I'm like, as I was walking back, I'm like, "So just like in the same one that guy just threw his fucking Orange Julius in." Okay. Like this is how we're disposing of this according to the
live
TSA.
ammunition.
Yeah.
I used to carry a knife through security so much that I thought you pretty much could. It's a Leatherman. I carry a Leatherman or a multi-tool on me almost all the time, hardly ever without one. And I would just put it in my backpack and have the backpack pass through security. And I must have got through like 12 times in a row. And then when they finally took it, it was like, you're giving me shit about, okay, you can have it. I'd even consider that trying to get a knife through airport security could get me in trouble. Mm-hmm. It was more like, if you're going to be a dick about it, just keep it. And that's not what I said. I was more respectful, but that was my thought. And then I got caught like, I don't know, more often, like 2 times out of 3. And I'm like, well, at this point, I'm just giving away too many Leatherman.